Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this post-match press conference with India coach Rahul Dravid. As a reminder to everyone, please ensure that your mobile devices are all muted or on vibrate. Please, begging you. And to everybody on Zoom, please ensure that your monitors are all muted. Please start with one question at a time so we'll be able to give as many people an opportunity at a chance.
Yeah, Rahul, end of the campaign must be disappointed with the day's play, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously disappointed to finish in the semi-finals. Probably would have certainly liked to go a couple of steps further. But yeah, just outclassed today. They were the better team in all departments, really. And the scoreline showed that.
Rahul, unfortunately, we will be going to Melbourne, but there will be some takeaways for you from this tournament. So what would you think about that?
Yeah, it's tough, just after a few... honestly, after a loss like that, it's tough to... but we'll reflect on it. I mean, it's tough to reflect on things so close to the result. But yeah, I think, overall, we ran a pretty good campaign. We tried to... over the last year, we've played some good T20 cricket. Even in this tournament, I think we've had our moments. There's been some real individual quality from a lot of our players, shown some real good skills. But on the day, we were just not good enough here. And I'm sure that, when you lose in a semi-final, yes, I know it's disappointing, but yeah, I'm sure there are things that we can look back on and reflect on and see that we've improved in and we can take forward and move forward as we build for the next World Cup.
Rahul, you've prided yourself in your adaptability, and you trusted. You said you trusted if there's a pitch that calls for 190 total, the batters will bat accordingly. Was it a case of not doing that, or were the conditions so different when you were batting and then it started to slide on? And also about, like Rohit said that you would have batted first, but did you look at the Bangladesh game where they came so close, and Afghanistan who also came so close against Australia, when both the night games that were played here? Yeah,
honestly, we looked at those things. We looked at that as well. But also runs on the board was something in a semi-final. We had been batting well. We were one of those teams that were, even in these conditions, scoring 180 plus. I think we'd done it 2 or 3 times. 3 times, I think, in this tournament. So we were playing well. It's just, I think, maybe when the game started, the boys were saying it was a little bit tacky. It was a little bit slower. Having said that, they bowled really well. I thought they were really good up front. They hit really good lengths. Didn't really let us get away. And we felt at that 15 over mark, we were probably, 15-20 short. And we really had a really good last 5 overs. I thought, Hardik out there was absolutely brilliant. And that's exactly, in the end, it looked like we were a lot shorter than even 15-20. But I think, we should have been able to get to 180, 185 on that wicket. It would have been, maybe things might have been different with an early wicket after that.
Rahul, I just wanted to know, the team after this is going to New Zealand under Hardik. So at this point in time, a cycle has ended. Next cycle is after 2 years. So what exactly, you said about reflection, where do we see Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli or Bhuvneshwar Kumar or Ravichandran Ashwin, the senior guys? What's their future in terms of vis-a-vis T20 cricket?
Oh, it's too early to talk about it right now. It's just after a semi-final game. These guys have been terrific performers for us. And yeah, like you said, we have a couple of years to reflect on it. There's some really good quality players here. So absolutely not the right time to, talk about this stuff or think about this stuff right now. We'll have enough games, enough matches as we go on ahead. And yeah, we'll try and build and prepare for the next World Cup.
Rahul, one of the differences between India and England here is obviously the England guys. I think only one of that team hasn't played Big Bash or got experience playing here. We haven't seen Indian players allowed to play overseas T20 leagues the entire time of, I suppose, the IPL. Can you see that ever changing, and do you think it would help in a sort of a holistic cricket sense?
Yeah, sure. There's no doubt about it that the fact that England a lot of their players have come here and played in this tournament. It certainly showed. It's tough. I think it's very difficult for Indian cricket because a lot of these tournaments happen right in the peak of our season. I think it's a huge challenge for us. Yes, I think a lot of our boys maybe do miss out on the opportunities of playing in a lot of these leagues. But if you were to, it's really up to the BCCI to make that decision. But the thing is that it's right in the middle of our season, and with the kind of demand there would be for Indian players, if you allowed all the Indian players to play in these leagues, we would not have a domestic cricket. Our domestic cricket, our Ranji Trophy would be finished, and that would mean Test cricket would be finished. So I think, I know a lot of people talk about it, but we have to be very careful when we have to understand the challenges that Indian cricket faces or the BCCI would face in a situation like this. You'd see all our boys like a lot of boys being asked to play leagues right in the middle of our season. We're seeing what that's done to West Indian cricket, and I would definitely not want Indian cricket to go that way. It would certainly affect our Ranji Trophy. It would affect Test cricket, and in India being Indian boys playing Test cricket is pretty important for the Test game as well, I would think.
Hi, Rahul, over
Yeah.
here. Just your opinion on Jos Buttler and his performance. Obviously a player that a lot of the Indian guys will know tremendously well from his IPL participation. What did you make of his performance, and is there anyone better in what he does at the moment?
Yeah, no, he's a very dangerous player, and we knew that. We knew the key to the game also obviously was to try and break that opening partnership as early as we could. We tried to attack a little bit with our lengths up front. We thought that was a tactic. They played that really well. The ball didn't swing here probably as much as it has in other parts of Australia or in other conditions. Played a little bit into their hands, and class players like that, both Buttler and Hales, I thought their partnership was fantastic today. I think they just put the pressure on us, never let that go. And even when our spinners came on a wicket that we thought we might be able to control the game, they really counter-attacked our spinners as well and put our spinners under a lot of pressure. So really well played. I mean, a class player, someone like Buttler, someone who's, I don't need me to say that, but he's just got, he's probably one of the most dangerous T20 players going around.
Rahul, can you tell us that, the debacle, or what are the main reasons for not taking even a single wicket? Because, 10-wicket victory is something that is whipping us.
Yeah, well, I think they played well. That's the reality of it. I thought they played really well. Once they got off to that kind of start, I think they could really sit back and control the run rate. We had 168. They brought that run rate down to 6.5, I think, by the time the 6th over was finished, or 7 runs and over. And then on a small ground like that, they were always in control. So they were going to control that game. They didn't really need to take too many risks. They could sit back and, not that they didn't take them. They played some very good shots right through. But yeah, these things happen. Yeah, it's disappointing. Debacle, I'm not sure is the right word, but disappointing certainly. Yeah.
राहुल इधर जो मैच में हमें तकलीफ आई वो मैच में ना कि बैटिंग में ना कि बॉलिंग में हमें शुरुआत अच्छी मिली, और आप कोच हो तो इसका सॉल्यूशन भी तो इजी नहीं है.
हाँ, ज़रूर. हम शुरुआत बहुत 20 ओवर के मैच में आपको ज़रूर शुरुआत और अच्छी करनी पड़ती है. अगर आप पहले 6 ओवर हारते हैं दूसरी टीम के साथ दोनों फेजेस में, तो फिर काफ़ी मुश्किल हो जाता है. अगर हम देखें इस मैच में शायद 5 फेजेस थे इस गेम में. हमारे बैटिंग में 3 फेजेस और उनके बैटिंग में 2 फेजेस ही लगे उनको, और 4 फेजेस हम लोगों ने हारे इसमें. सिर्फ हमारे लास्ट 5 ओवर मैं कहूँगा हम लोगों ने बहुत अच्छी क्रिकेट खेली, और वी पुट द प्रेशर बैक ऑन देम. बट अगर हम 4 फेजेस हारते हैं गेम में, तो फिर आप डेफिनेटली आउटप्लेड है इस फॉर्मेट में. Thanks guys, thank you.
Thanks everyone.